Good morning/afternoon/evening. I want to talk to you about a feeling we've all experienced at some point in our lives, the sting of disrespect. It cuts deep, doesn't it? Whether it's in your workplace, your family, or your circle of friends, encountering people who don't respect you can shake your confidence and your sense of self-worth. Respect begins with you, and the way you teach others to treat you starts with the boundaries you establish. Boundaries are not walls you put up to shut people out. They are bridges that show others how to approach you with care and consideration. When someone disrespects you, the first thing you need to do is evaluate whether you've made your limits clear. Often people don't know they've crossed a line until you tell them. So don't assume others will automatically understand what's acceptable to you. Communicate it. When setting boundaries, it's important to do so with clarity and confidence. For instance, if someone interrupts you repeatedly during a conversation, you can say something like, "I value this discussion, but I'd appreciate it if you let me finish my thought before jumping in." Notice how this doesn't attack the person, but instead highlights your needs in a calm and constructive way. Boundaries should never be about punishing others, but about protecting your peace and creating mutual respect. It's also essential to be consistent. People are quick to notice when you waver on your boundaries, and inconsistency can send mixed signals. If you tolerate disrespect once, they may assume it's permissible to treat you that way again. Upholding your boundaries consistently shows that you mean what you say, and over time, people will learn to respect those limits or naturally distance themselves if they're unwilling to. Now, I understand that setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're not used to asserting yourself. You might worry about coming across as harsh or hurting someone's feelings, but remember, prioritizing your emotional well-being is not selfish. It's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup, and allowing disrespect to persist will drain you emotionally and mentally. Now, by establishing clear boundaries, you are not just protecting yourself, you're also creating healthier relationships. At times, people may react poorly when you start enforcing boundaries, especially if they've grown accustomed to disregarding them. This is where your resolve matters most. Stand firm, even if it feels difficult. People who genuinely care about you will adjust. And those who don't were never truly invested in respecting you to begin with. Boundaries are your way of saying, "I value myself enough to ensure I'm treated with the dignity and respect I deserve." And when you consistently live by those boundaries, you not only teach others to value you, but also remind yourself of your own worth every single day. When someone disrespects you, it's natural to feel hurt or offended. We all want to be treated with kindness and understanding, and when that doesn't happen, it can feel like a personal attack. But one of the most empowering things you can do is to remind yourself that most disrespectful behavior has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the person displaying it. People are complex. Their actions are often driven by their own experiences, insecurities, and struggles, most of which you'll never know about. That sharp tone someone used with you, it might stem from the stress they're carrying from an entirely different situation. That dismissive attitude, it could be a reflection of their own lack of confidence or the way they were treated in the past. While none of this excuses their behavior, understanding this truth can help you detach from taking their actions to heart. Think about it this way. If you encountered a storm, you wouldn't blame yourself for the rain. You'd recognize that the storm is happening regardless of your presence. In the same way, disrespectful behavior is often like a storm brewing inside someone else. It's not about you, it's about them. When you stop internalizing their negativity, you shield yourself from its impact. This doesn't mean you should tolerate disrespect or let people walk all over you, far from it. But it does mean you can choose to rise above their behavior instead of letting it pull you down. By not taking it personally, you maintain your emotional balance and avoid letting someone else's actions dictate your self-worth. It's also worth considering the power of empathy. When you step back and view the situation objectively, you might see that the person disrespecting you is operating from a place of pain or ignorance. While their behavior is not your responsibility to fix, Understanding where it might come from can help you respond with grace rather than anger. Responding with calmness not only preserves your own peace, but also disarms the other person's negativity. And let's be real, taking everything personally is exhausting. It places an unnecessary burden on your shoulders and forces you to carry emotions that don't belong to you. You deserve better than that. By learning to separate yourself from the actions of others, you free yourself from that weight. You reclaim your power by focusing on what truly matters, your own response, your own growth, and your own peace of mind. The next time someone disrespects you, pause and remind yourself, this isn't about me. This is about them. Say it as many times as you need until it sinks in, because the truth is, their disrespect doesn't define you. How you handle it, that's what truly defines you. When faced with disrespect, it's easy to get caught up in the other person's behavior. You replay their words in your mind, dissect their actions, and wonder why they treated you that way. But here's the truth. You can't control what someone else does. What you can control, what you have absolute power over, is how you choose to respond. And in that response lies your strength. There are 3 ways that we control ourselves. 1, we begin to learn that we have absolute power over it. It's important to understand that your reaction is your responsibility. You might feel tempted to snap back, give them a piece of your mind, or match their negativity with your own. That's human. But when you allow someone else's behavior to dictate your actions, you're handing over your power. Instead of being in control of yourself, you're letting their disrespect pull the strings. What does focusing on your response look like? First, it means pausing before reacting. When someone disrespects you, your initial reaction is likely fueled by emotion. Anger, hurt, frustration. But emotions, while valid, can cloud your judgment. Take a moment to breathe. Give yourself space to think. In that pause, ask yourself, what outcome do I want from this situation? How can I respond in a way that aligns with who I am? Choosing your response deliberately doesn't mean ignoring the disrespect or pretending it didn't happen. It means addressing it from a place of clarity and strength rather than impulsiveness. For example, if someone makes a rude comment, you might calmly say, I don't appreciate being spoken to that way. Let's have a respectful conversation. Notice how this shifts the focus from their behavior to your expectations. It sets the tone for how you want to be treated without escalating the conflict. Another key aspect of focusing on your response is not letting the disrespect consume your energy. Dwelling on their behavior only gives it more power. Instead, redirect that energy toward maintaining your composure and protecting your peace. Ask yourself, is this worth my time? Is this person's opinion so important that I'm willing to disrupt my inner calm over it? More often than not, the answer is no. It's also important to remember that your response sends a message, not just to the other person, but to yourself. When you choose dignity over retaliation, you reinforce your own self-worth. You remind yourself that you are in control of your actions and that no one else has the power to shake your sense of self unless you allow it. And let's not forget, sometimes the best response is no response at all. Silence can be a powerful way to assert your boundaries. By choosing not to engage, you're signaling that their behavior isn't worth your attention. You're prioritizing your energy and refusing to let their negativity take root in your life. Focusing on your response doesn't mean you'll never feel hurt or frustrated by disrespect. It means you won't let those feelings dictate your actions. It's about standing tall in the face of negativity and choosing a path that aligns with your values, your peace, and your power. Because at the end of the day, how you handle yourself in difficult moments says far more about you than anything someone else might do. The people you surround yourself with have a profound influence on your life, on how you think, feel, and even how you see yourself. When you consistently spend time with individuals who respect you, encourage you, and value your worth, it reinforces your own sense of self-respect. Your respectful people don't just lift you up, they set the standard for how others should treat you and how you should treat yourself. Being in the company of respectful individuals creates a safe and empowering environment. These are the people who listen without interrupting, who support your goals without jealousy, and who challenge you in ways that inspire growth rather than diminish your confidence. They communicate with kindness even during disagreements, and they don't resort to blame or insults to make their point. This kind of mutual respect fosters trust and helps you build meaningful, lasting relationships. It's not just about avoiding those who treat you poorly, it's about actively seeking out those who bring positivity and respect into your life. Take stock of the people around you, friends, colleagues, even family members. Are they uplifting you or are they draining your energy? Are they showing you respect through their words and actions, or are they leaving you feeling undervalued? Each period in your life celebrates something new. Each period in your life transforms the old you into the new you. Sometimes this reflection can be uncomfortable, especially when it involves people you've known for a long time. But it's a necessary step toward creating a life filled with meaningful, respectful connections. A few more reminders. One day was enough to make a difference. Start little. Being around respectful people also teaches you what healthy relationships look like. You learn to recognize the signs of mutual care and consideration. You start to expect honesty and kindness, and you develop a deeper understanding of the importance of communication. Over time, this helps you identify and move away from relationships that don't meet these standards. The beauty of surrounding yourself with respectful people is that it becomes a cycle of positivity. When you are treated with respect, it naturally encourages you to offer the same in return. This creates a foundation for mutual understanding and a sense of equality in your relationships. You begin to attract more of the same energy, drawing people into your life who align with your values and who contribute to your growth. Her sister says, "Every time that I see anybody making this shift sometimes means making tough choices. You might need to limit time with people who constantly undermine your confidence or fail to recognize your worth. It doesn't mean cutting ties completely, but it does mean prioritizing your own well-being by creating boundaries. Respectful people understand and support those boundaries, while others may resist them. That resistance can reveal who truly values your presence and who does not. Choosing to spend time with respectful individuals doesn't just impact your relationships, it impacts how you navigate the world. When you're surrounded by people who treat you well, you start to internalize their positivity. It becomes easier to stand up for yourself, to pursue your goals, and to approach life with a sense of confidence and purpose. It also allows you to recognize when someone's behavior isn't acceptable because you have a clear baseline of what respect feels like. The energy you give is the energy you attract. This simple yet profound truth is at the core of how we experience relationships and interactions in our lives. Think about it. When you walk into a room with confidence, kindness, and a sense of purpose, the way people respond to you shifts. It's not magic, it's the natural law of reciprocity. What you project outward into the world acts like a signal, drawing back experiences and people that align with that energy. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to let frustration, anger, or bitterness take over. But here's the thing. If you let those emotions govern your responses, you may end up perpetuating the same cycle of negativity. Instead, focus on centering yourself. Choose to radiate calm, self-respect, and strength, even when faced with disrespect. This doesn't mean you ignore bad behavior or tolerate mistreatment. It means you rise above it. You show others, not just through words, but through your demeanor, how you expect to be treated. Your energy speaks louder than your voice ever can. If you constantly carry self-doubt or insecurity, you may unintentionally signal to others that it's okay to undermine you. On the flip side, if you walk with confidence, speak with intention, and hold yourself with dignity, people are more likely to treat you with the respect you deserve. It's not about forcing anyone's behavior. It's about creating an environment where the energy you exude sets the standard. When you prioritize giving off positivity, strength, and respect, You begin to attract people and situations that mirror that back to you. It might not happen overnight, and not everyone will respond the way you hope, but over time, the energy you put out will start to shape the world around you. So choose wisely what you project, because it has the power to influence not just others, but your entire experience of life. Be a mirror of the respect you want to see. This means embodying the very behavior you hope to receive from others. It's a call to action, urging you to reflect respect outwardly in every interaction, regardless of how someone treats you. When you lead with respect, you set a tone, a standard, and an expectation that others are more likely to follow. Respect starts with how you treat yourself and extends to how you treat others. If you want kindness, show kindness. If you want people to listen to you, make an effort to listen to them. If you desire understanding, be patient and empathetic. Relationships, whether personal or professional, are built on reciprocity. What you give is often what you get. However, this doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or lowering your standards. Being a mirror of respect doesn't require you to let others mistreat you or to remain silent when faced with negativity. Instead, it's about maintaining your composure and integrity even in the face of rudeness or hostility. When someone disrespects you, responding with the same energy only escalates the situation. But when you remain calm and respectful, you send a powerful message about who you are and what you stand for. Your actions and attitude become a reflection of the behavior you value. People often take cues from how they're treated. When you consistently approach others with respect, you not only create a more positive dynamic, but also challenge them to rise to the standard you've set. This doesn't guarantee that everyone will reciprocate immediately, but it does ensure that you're leading by example. Respect is contagious. It has the power to disarm hostility, build trust, and transform relationships. When you live as a mirror of respect, you contribute to an environment where mutual dignity becomes the norm. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. The world becomes a better place when we all choose to reflect the respect we wish to see in it. There are times in life when no matter how much effort you put into communicating your needs, setting boundaries, or responding with grace, the disrespect continues. It can feel frustrating and disheartening, especially when it comes from people you care about or environments you've invested in. So it's highly necessary to discipline yourself so that you do not treat people with such. But one of the most empowering decisions you can make is to recognize when staying in a situation is no longer serving you. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness, it's a declaration of your worth. Walking away means valuing your peace, mental health, and self-respect over the need to fix or tolerate someone else's behavior. It's an acknowledgement that no relationship, job, or environment is worth sacrificing your well-being. You might feel a sense of loyalty or obligation to stay, but staying in a space where you are constantly disrespected chips away at your confidence and inner peace. It can leave you feeling drained, diminished, and disconnected from who you truly are. The decision to walk away is often the result of clarity that builds over time. You might try everything to make the situation better, communicating openly, setting boundaries, and giving the benefit of the doubt, only to find that nothing changes. When that happens, it's important to recognize that change doesn't always have to come from the other person or the environment. Sometimes the change comes from you stepping away and reclaiming control over your life. Number 2, higher guidance to flourish in life. External forces often support us if we flourish inside, see it that way, and reclaiming control over your life. Choosing to walk away can be especially difficult in relationships or situations where there's an emotional connection. You may feel torn between wanting to hold on to what's familiar and recognizing that what's familiar is also unhealthy. It's natural to hope for improvement, but at some point, hope must be balanced with reality. It needs to be balanced with reality because in order for a whole life to grow, if someone consistently disregards your feelings, fails to respect your boundaries, or refuses to acknowledge the impact of their behavior, it's a sign that staying may only prolong your pain. Walking away doesn't mean you don't care about the other person or the situation. It means you care about yourself enough to prioritize your well-being. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be in spaces where you are valued and respected. It's about creating room in your life for better opportunities, healthier relationships, and a greater sense of fulfillment. It's important to understand that walking away is not an act of defeat, but one of empowerment. It takes courage to leave behind something that no longer aligns with your values or meets your needs. It takes strength to step into the unknown and trust that something better is waiting for you on the other side. Walking away is a boundary in itself. It's you saying, "I will no longer accept less than I deserve." This decision is often met with resistance, not just from others, but from within yourself. You might doubt whether you're making the right choice or worry about the consequences, but those doubts are often rooted in fear of change, not in the reality of what you're walking toward. It's helpful to remind yourself that letting go of something harmful is a step towards something healthier, even if you can't see it clearly in the moment. In some cases, walking away isn't permanent. It can be temporary distance to allow for reflection and growth. Sometimes space can provide the clarity both you and the other person need to reassess the dynamic. But whether it's temporary or permanent, walking away is always a choice rooted in self-respect. It's a way of showing yourself that you are worthy of environments and relationships that honor your dignity. The process of walking away can be challenging and emotional. You may feel sadness, grief, or even guilt for leaving something behind. These feelings are normal, but they are not a sign that you should stay. They are simply part of the process of releasing what no longer serves you. With time, you will begin to see the benefits of creating that space in your life. In life, respect is not something we should ever have to beg for or chase after. It's a birthright we all carry. But when faced with disrespect, the way we handle it becomes a reflection of our inner strength and self-worth. By setting clear boundaries, we teach others how to treat us. By refusing to take it personally, we protect our peace. By focusing on our response instead of their behavior, we reclaim our power. We take the responsibility for how we respond instead of their behavior. We reclaim our power. By surrounding ourselves with respectful people, we create an environment that uplifts us, and when necessary, by walking away, we make room for the respect and love we truly deserve. Remember, respect starts with you. The way you choose to navigate these challenges shapes not only how others treat you, but also how you see yourself. Stand firm in your worth, honor your values, and never settle for anything less than the dignity you deserve. Because the moment you choose to respect yourself, you set the standard for the world to follow. Thank you.